How to create trusses in Revit. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly that. Hello and welcome back to the channel. You're also welcome to 2024, and I pray we achieve all our set goals each of us set out for this year. I want to give you all a special thanks for helping us reach another milestone of 2,000 subscribers. I'm truly grateful, and hopefully by next year we'll be looking at 10,000 subscribers. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the steps in creating structural truss systems in Autodesk Revit. So if you haven't done so, make this the video you subscribe to the channel, like the video and share with your friends. Also make sure you hit the notification bell to join the notification squad, because we release content like this on a weekly basis. With that out of the way, let's go. Alright, while creating trusses in Revit, it's always good to know that your trusses should be peculiar to the project you are creating it for. So in the case of this project, we are going to be creating a truss for this barrel roof section. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to go to the ground floor. We are going to go under views and create a section, so we'll get a better view of the place we want to create the truss at. So now we've created this section. I'm just going to click on this two-way icon just to rotate it to where I want the section to cut and see through. Then I'm going to click on the section to open the section view. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go under annotate, and I'm going to click on aligned, and I'm just going to dimension the span in which I want to span the truss. So now I've gotten this dimension, which is good. I'm going to go to annotate, and I'm going to do some line works. I'm going to go to detail line, and I'm going to use this you can select any kind of line, but I'm just going to use pick lines to just draw a reference of the place I'm spanning through. So I'm just going to pick this line. I'm going to draw one vertical line here, as well as another vertical line here. So I'll use it as a tool to trim this curved line. So now I'm just going to trim this, and I'm going to also trim this. Okay, so now this is done. I'm going to go under file here. I'm going to go under new. Under new, I'm going to select new family. So under new family, I'm going to go into the English metric templates option. So I'm going to, instead of English Imperial, I'm going to go to English. Then I'm going to look for metric structural truss. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to click on this metric structural truss family template, and I'm going to click open. So now we are going to see some few things. We are going to see some reference planes all around. We are going to see the height of the truss. We are going to see the length of the truss. So firstly, we are going to go back to this section, and we are going to take cognizance of this dimension of this span. That is 19,550 millimeters. So we are going to go back to this view here, and we are going to make sure we impute it here, 19,000. So now we've done this, you can see the parameter is still set to be equal, and the height is still all right. So now we are going to go back to this section 1. So now we are just going to select that line we created, and we're just going to click on copy. Now we're going to go back to this truss family view, and we're going to go and place Ctrl V, and we're going to paste it. So now we are just going to try and paste it from the center point. We are going to look for the center point of this line, and we're going to try and make sure it matches with the top of this truss family template. So now we've done this, we're now going to start creating our truss systems using this line as a point of reference. So we're going to go under create. Well, as you can see, you have three options or three types of members to create. You have the top chord, the bottom chord, and the webs, which will contain the struts and the main structural member. So I'm going to click on this top chord. So under this top chord, I'm going to be using this select pick line tools, and I'm just going to pick a line here. So the same thing, I'm now going to go to offset, and I'm going to offset 1.2 meter or 1 meter. Okay, let me offset 1.2, and I'm going to offset that line I created here. Then I'm going to go to create again, and I'm going to click on bottom chord, and I'm just going to click on pick line tools, and I'm just going to pick this line. So now I've done picking the two lines, I'm going to select this line here. I'm going to make sure it's the line I copied from the other project. I'm going to make sure it's not one of the members I've created, so I'm going to delete it. Now you can see the member, the bottom chord highlighted in blue. I'm also going to click on this line, delete it. Now you can see the top chord highlighted in purple. So now we are going to start creating the struts. We are going to go to create, we are going to go to web. So in the case of this video, I want to create a Pratt truss. So if you are familiar with Pratt truss, they are actually noted for their end shape. So and they are good in resisting tensile stress. So I'm just going to start creating them one by after the other. I'm going to create this member, draw the diagonal member, and I'm just going to be repeating it, drawing it at 45 degrees, draw the vertical members. So I'm just going to just trim this here. Okay, so now I've created all these members. I'm just going to click, then I'm just going to try and highlight all these members. Then once I highlight all the members, I'm just going to go under this filter here, and I'm just going to remove these reference planes, and I'm going to leave this web now. Now I'm going to hold shift and deselect this center web. Then I'm just going to click on this mirror pick axis, and I'm just going to pick this axis and mirror everything. So as you can see, now we have created our truss system. So I'm just going to hit Ctrl Save to save the family, and I'm just going to be saving it as, let's say, tutorial, truss tutorial. Alright, so now we've saved the project. We're just going to click on load into project and close, and we're going to be loading it into the project we are working on. Alright, so now we've created the truss system. We have loaded it into the project. We are going to be going to the roof level because it's where we want to create the truss. So now we are going to go to structure. Under structure, we are now going to click on this truss. You can see the truss tutorial is highlighted here. We could edit it and select the kind of truss members we want the truss system to have. Let's say we click on escape set. So we are going to start duplicating and creating members we want for this truss before we even draw the truss. So I'm just going to click on this beam here. So under this beam, I'm just going to click on this drop down icon. Normally if you open Revit, you're only going to see this universal beam, but I imported this one. So we are going to click on this universal beam, and we're going to start editing it and duplicating it and giving them appropriate names. So we're going to click on edit type, we're going to click on duplicate, and we're going to name this one 01 bottom chord, and I'm going to click OK. So now I'm going to be imputing some dimensions. I'm going to be making it 30 cm by 9 cm. Let me just put it, and I'm going to click apply. Then I'm also going to click on edit type. I'm going to click on duplicate. I'm going to name this one top chord. Then I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to leave it in the same dimension, and I'm going to click OK. So I'm also going to click edit type. I'm going to click on duplicate. Then I'm going to name this web. Then for this web, I'm going to try and revert it back to the original dimension. I'm going to be changing it back to 8 by 15 centimeters, and I'm going to click apply, and I'm going to click OK. So now we're going to go back to structure. We're going to go back to truss. So under this truss tutorial, we're going to click on edit, and we're going to start setting the members. So we're going to start from the top chord. We're going to click on this structural framing type, and we're going to select top chord. We're going to look for these vertical members. We're going to click on this, and we're going to click on this universal beams web that we created. We're also going to do the same for the diagonal members. Click on web, so they will be the same. The bottom chord, we are going to look for bottom chord. Okay, not this place. We're going to click on bottom chord, the beam we created. So we're going to click on it, and we're going to click OK. So now we have done this. We're now going to try and select the edge of this line. Okay, let me click escape first. Let me just draw a line. Go to annotate. I'm just going to draw a line to prevent me from selecting the center point of this one. Let me just draw a line here so it can serve as a reference point. Draw another line. So I'm going to go to structure again. Then I'm going to go to trusses. So now we have set the truss. We are just going to click on this line. We are going to draw our truss from here to this point, and we are going to create the truss. All right. So now, as you can see, the truss system is creating. So there's a beam and brace are slightly off axis. We can just close this. Maybe it's due to the curve nature, and we're just going to go and look at it in this section. So we're going to just click on this section and look at what we've done. So as you can see, the truss are appearing as lines, and do you know why? The reason why they are appearing as lines is because of this visibility graphics display option. The detail level course is actually a coarse, so we're going to change it from coarse to fine. And we're just going to see. All right, so you could see that we have created a truss system successfully. So we're just going to click on this truss, and we're just going to try and move it because it's kind of out of place. So I'm just going to click on it, and I'm going to select this move tool. Then I'm just going to move this here, and I'm going to make sure I uncheck this constraint, and I'm going to move this to, let's use 200. So of course, it's also going to show me this brace and beam are slightly off axis. Well, we are going to ignore it. Okay, now you can see we have placed this structure successfully, but there is an issue now. We could see some gaps between these truss systems. So typically what I will have done is I will just click on this. I will just try and highlight the whole truss. Once I right click or left click, and I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to go under filter here. I'm going to uncheck this truss, structural trusses. I'm going to uncheck this line and dimension, and I'm only going to leave the structural framing, and I'm going to click OK. But note, very important, before doing this, make sure that the size of this truss is actually the final size. Like you're not going to edit the truss system again. It's going to be this size before doing this thing, because once you do this thing, the truss system will no more be parametric and it will no more be adjustable. But I just want to show you for the sake sake of this video. It might not work in this video because of the nature of the truss, but I just want to show you by the way. So we're just going to click on this unpin. So once we have unpinned this truss, I'm just going to tap any of this member and I'm going to drag it up. I'm going to just do the same and try and do this now. So now I've done this, I'm going to go under modify. Under this modify, I'm going to go under this geometry tab and I'm going to click on this cope. So now I'm going to select this member I want to cope and I'm going to select this truss. So as you can see, it's showing me an issue that coping applied, but the cut was not able to be made. So I'm going to click on cancel. The reason why it's telling me this, I'm guessing, is because of the curve nature, but I'm just going to do Ctrl Z now and I'm going to revert it back to what it was. Ctrl Z, okay, Ctrl Y. All right, so now we have created this truss. We are going to go to this top view now, or we are going to go and look at it from the 3D perspective view. So we are going to select this roof and we're going to click on HH to hide it. So as you can see, this is our truss system. You can see all the members. Very well done. So now we are going to go back to this roof level and we're going to start copying it at repetitions. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to click on annotate. I'm going to click on align. I'm going to make sure this first truss is actually sent at an interval I want it. So I'm going to select this truss and I'm going to change it to 1.5. Okay, so now we've adjusted this truss. I'm just going to select this truss now and I'm now going to click on array. So now I want to copy this truss at repetitions. So now I'm going to just select this array. Of course, I'm going to make sure it's checked as second. Then I'm just going to click on this and click on a distance 1.5. Then once I click on the distance, it's going to give me an option to impute the number of repetitions I want to array it at. So let me just start with 25 and I'm going to click array. This might take some time because this is a truss system and it's quite heavy, so you need to be patient. All right, so as you can see, it's still giving me this warning, but I don't really care and I'm just going to ignore it. So you can see you can still increase the number since it's not occupying all the whole span. So we could increase the number to, let me estimate, 39 and click enter. All right, you could see I was spot on with the estimation. So let's go back to 3D and see what we've done. So as you can see, you could see the whole truss systems. Now what will be left for me to do later on is to just create the pole lines that will just brace the roof to this truss system. So I could click on HR to unhide the roof. It's going to ask me to save the project. So I'm going to suspend it for now. And we're going to see the roof. So you could see the roof is covering this perfectly. If you go back to this section view, we're going to go back to ground floor and let's look at this section now. You can now see that these are the truss system. These are truss system we created. So this is very good, especially if you are doing large scale projects and you don't want to start using field region to do a lot of line work. So we could go back to ground floor. We could decide that we want to cut another section. Let's cut this section from here. Let's draw another section and cut another section from here. So now we've done that, we're just going to click on this section. And as usual, we are going to go over here and we're going to make sure this is not in coarse, it's in fine. So we're just going to click on it and make sure so all the members will be showing very well. So you can see our structural members and you can see how good it is. So if I want to detail this project, I don't need to start doing a lot of line work. I will just go and pick my views and do whatever I want to do. Okay, so if this video was helpful, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel for more content like this, hit the notification bell to get notified once we release new videos. We do that on a weekly basis, so stay tuned. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm going to wish you good luck till the next video.